Let's work on some Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Like the title of the video says, this is the way I play it. I went back to the 1949 original version and actually slowed it down to half speed in media player, recorded that, and then slowed that down to half speed in order to get to it slow enough where I could listen to it. But it's pretty much the way I played it my whole life anyway. So, and it's the way that I teach it. So there are some prerequisites. One would be that you have already worked on your open string rolls, and I devoted an entire video to what I call the Foggy Mountain roll, which is on the right hand the 2-1-2-1-5-2-1-5, which where you drop your thumb to the second string. At least that's the way I do it. So I've seen guys do it before where they run the index finger in there twice. My right hand is much faster at dropping my thumb to the second string. So either way you do it, it's 2-1, 2-1, 5-2-1-5. That's what I call the Foggy Mountain roll. And there's another one that I call, that I named after Earl Scruggs because he used it so much in all of his playing. The one that the lick that goes like that. The right hand roll is 3-1-5-3-1-3-4-1, and I just call that the Scruggs roll on my open string rolls video. So hopefully you've been over both of those rolls, the Foggy Mountain roll, what I call the Scruggs roll. 3-1-5-3-1-3-4-1, and also have been over a forward reverse roll. And what happens in Foggy Mountain Breakdown, instead of the regular one on the page that goes 3-2-1-5-1-2-3-1, this forward reverse roll starts on the fourth string and goes 4-2-1-5-1-2-4-1, like so. That'll be our E minor chord when we get to that. And let's see, I think that's about it. There's one forward roll sequence where you do the Foggy Mountain roll followed by 5-3-1 instead of a 5-2-1. That'll be for our pull-off. So, but at any rate, I've got the song kind of broken up into component parts, really, and I've named each one of the licks, and they are named what I named them. So in this video, because it's my video, so there you go. But it helps my students to be able to keep everything in sequence, because Foggy Mountain Breakdown is not a really highly melodic tune. It's just more or less one lick followed by another lick. So I've just taken the licks and separated them out and named them, like the first double hammer lick. And with the left hand, if you haven't worked on the hammer yet, going from your index finger to your second finger, I'm going from the second fret to the third fret, like so. If you haven't got that down, you need to work on that just all by itself. Anyway, so the hammer here with the index on the right hand, and then hammer it again. And both of those are 2-1, 2-1 are the strings, and then 5-2-1-5 is the open strings. So it goes hammer, hammer, 5-2-1-5. So that's the double hammer Foggy Mountain lick, the very first lick in the song. And I do realize that a lot of it is, there's a hammer not followed by a first string, and then another hammer that is followed by a first string. But there were also times when he followed both of them with the first string, just like that. So I've chosen just to make that the default lick for my version of the song. So that's the double hammer lick. And then you do that twice in the beginning of the song. So 2, 1, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, and do it again. Now when you're doing it, of course, there won't be any space in between the licks. They'll just keep going right on ahead as eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... I'm just separating them out to show you the individual licks. The third one starts with a double hammer and then goes to a pull-off on the third string, and this is a pull-off from the third fret to the second fret. And what I do is I have my hammer on the second string, and you notice I have 2 fingers down because I leave my index finger on there. I'm going to move both fingers across at the same time, and that gives me 2 fingers on the third string. And what I do, I just do my pull-off, 5, 3, 1. So that's my pull-off. And notice my index finger is still on there. I leave it on there because the next note I play is the 5th string, and then I take my index finger off for the open third string. So it's 5, 3, 1, 5, 3. 5, 3, 1, 5, 3. And what I'm trying to do is leave my index finger on there as long as I can to because I have a B flat and an A and a G. I won't let that A ring for as long as it'll go before I take my finger off and play the open G. So that's the pull-off lick. Hammer, hammer, 5, 3 with the pull-off, 1, 5, 3. So far you've got the double hammer lick twice, 5, 2, 1, and again. The third lick is the double hammer with the pull-off, and you land on the third string with your index finger of your right hand as the open third string. Okay? The next lick I'm going to play, I call just a filler lick, because it's just an open string lick just to fill in the rest of that measure before I get to my E minor sequence. So and it goes 5, 3, 1, 3. And it's thumb, index, middle, index with the right hand. It's just open strings. That takes me down to the 4th string, 1st fret. And I'm going to use my second finger here because I'm going to slide it on up and build my E minor chord here. That's an E minor chord, and my second finger is on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. My ring finger, 3rd finger, is on the 1st string, 2nd fret. So both of them are on the 2nd fret. And it probably, if you're not used to this chord, it probably wouldn't hurt for you to take some time and just play open strings, put both fingers down, play that E minor chord, and open and E minor like so, just to work on the left hand on that. So what I'm doing is, after my filler lick, 5, 3, 1, 3, that lands me back here on the 1st fret of the 4th string. And I play that with my thumb, and then I slide to the 2nd fret. And while I'm doing that, I'm putting my 3rd finger down because that's the next note that I play. So I go 4th string, slide from the 1st fret to the 2nd fret, and then the 1st string is on the 2nd fret, open 2, open 3. Okay? Now those are all quarter notes. So my count is 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no ands in any of that because they're all quarter notes. They all get an equal value. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, nice even quarter notes. And then my next lick I'm going to play, and this is all part of the E minor sequence, and it consists of 2 parts. The first is the slow part. Okay. The second half of the E minor sequence starts with where I'm at already. All I'm going to do is hammer on the 4th string right there with my 2nd finger and do that forward reverse roll I was talking about. 4, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 4, 1, starting with the hammer. 4, 2, 1, 5. 5, 1, 2, 4, 1. Okay? 5, 1, 2, 4, 1. Forward, reverse. Okay? Just like that. Now, so far, I've got my double hammer. Again, double hammer with the pull-off. Filler, going into the slow E minor, the fast E minor. Okay? Now my next lick is taken from the, like I said, from the original 49 recording. Earl Scruggs changed it over the years did some different licks. But this is the one that I've chosen because I'm just sort of an originalist, I guess. It may not be the easiest one to play, but it can go really fast, you know, if you work on it some. So if you look at the Scruggs roll on my open string rolls sheet, the one that goes 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1. And hopefully you've worked on that some. Now, the third note of it, 3, 1, fourth note, I'm sorry, 3, 1, 5, 3 is my slide from 2 to 3. And that's my index finger of my right hand because that's where it falls in that roll. 3, 1, 5, 3. 1 is open. Now I go back to the open third string with my index finger again, and I'm moving my finger over to the fourth string, second fret, and then back to the 1. And that's that whole lick. The open strings are 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1. With the slide and the other note, it's 3, 1, 5, slide, 1, 3, 4, fretted 1. So that whole lick, I call it the Scruggs G run, because lots of times Scruggs would play it on the banjo while Lester Flatt was playing a G run on the guitar. It kind of corresponded with the G run on the guitar. And that's one that can be a little bit challenging because it comes right back with the index finger. This thumb, middle, thumb, index, middle, index. So that's one you can just work on individually just as a lick. I think I've got it in another one of my videos too, one with just banjo licks. So it can get pretty fast. So far we're down to the double hammer, again with the double hammer. The third lick is a double hammer with a pull-off, the filler, going into the slow E minor, the fast E minor, the Scruggs G run. Now we start repeating stuff. I'm going to do the filler lick again. 5, 3, 1, 3. Back to the E minor, slow E minor. Fast E minor. Now 2 of the G runs here. And that brings me down to my D sequence, getting close to the end of the song now. I'm going to hit the open D string as a quarter note. So I'm counting 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. And that hammer there, I usually drop my thumb for that just because I like the feel of it. So what's happening there is I'm hitting the open 4th string. I'm doing my hammer on the 2nd string again, just like I did above, but it's just a single hammer this time. So I do my D, single hammer, and this time instead of doing open string rolls, I'm leaving my finger on that D there, 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So I do 4, hammer, 5, 2, 1, 5, And now my next lick I've done before as well. It's a double hammer with a pull-off again. Hammer, hammer, 5, 3, 1 with the pull-off. Okay, it says hammer, hammer, 5, 3, 1, 5. Now, the last lick is going to be the Scruggs G run one more time, except this time I'm going to start it with my right hand with my index finger instead of my thumb. The other ones I start with my thumb. Thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, middle. This time I'm going to start it with the index. Index, middle, thumb, index, middle. Okay, because I've just played the 5th string and I'm in the middle of a forward roll. So that necessitates the use of my index finger for starting that roll this time. Open 4th string, hammer, double hammer with a pull off. See, there's that 5th string. Now I'm going to do 3, 1, 5, 3, 1 with the slide. Okay, same roll as before. The other ones went thumb. This one goes index. Everything else is the same. Okay, and then I do a 3 pinch and a 2 pinch at the very end, and I'm done. I've done the whole song. So if I call out these licks, you know, hopefully you'll be able to play them as I call them out, because by now you would have worked on each individual lick until they get to be more natural and more familiar to you. So when I say double hammer with open strings, and you do that again. This time, double hammer with a pull-off, filler, E minor slow, E minor fast, Scruggs G run, filler again, E minor slow again, E minor fast, another G run, and another G run, coming down to the D lick, hammer, 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 pull off, and G run at the end, starting with the index finger. 3, 2, pinch. So 3 pinch, 2 pinch at the end. And that's the whole song. And you just put it, you learn the component parts of it first, and get to where you can just do that over and over. So I'm going to do this 50 times. The hardest ones that I've experienced with my students has been the pull-off, mainly because people want to pull off too early, like that. And you don't want to do that. You want to do the pull-off, leave that finger on for as long as you can before you get to the open string, so that lifting your finger off and playing the open G string are almost simultaneous. So that's one of the hard ones. Let me see, and the Scruggs G run. Just mainly because the right hand roll is a little bit different. And then timing on the hammer-on for the E minor. So again, the E minor, you can just work that as an individual chord. And this is the way I always work chords. I'll play the chord, and I'll just play the open strings. And I'll put the chord back on. Open strings, put the chord back on. And that goes back to the 4th string. 4, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 4, 1. Okay, so let's take it from the top again. Double hammer. Again. This time with the pull-off. Filler lick. E minor slow. E fast. Forward reverse, G run, filler, E minor slow, E minor fast, G run, another G run, down to the D, hammer, double hammer, pull off, G run. And remember that last G run starts with the index finger. So you can practice those individually. You can practice it with your thumb, practice it with the index finger. So you got it 3 times with your thumb, and you got once with your index finger. And that makes it all a lot easier to memorize, I think. So, here we go, from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. Dang! There we go. Anyway, have fun. Hope this helps.